I we had handlers from Pearl Harbor there, and I'm like, could I tour one? And they went to the admiral of the base, and the word came back, yes, you can tour one. So they took me to a nuclear submarine that was tied up at Pearl Harbor, and they took me on it. And I go in, I've got these, public affairs people and the captain of the sub, and they're showing me around the sub, and you walk, and they're just awesome, and they're massive, and they're full of people, and it's just all like the most like technical, high tech shit you've ever seen in your life. And they're like, this is the navigation room, this is where we control the sub, and they're showing me the equipment. And I'm like, well, how much does this equipment cost? And they're like, well, we can't really tell you, but it's between 50 and $100 million for this area of the sub. And then they take me past the nuclear reactors, where there's armed guys guarding the nuclear reactors because they're propelled by nukes. And I'm like, well, how much does it? We can't tell you, right? And then they get you into the torpedo rooms, where there's these massive torpedoes, dozens of them. And you're like, how much do these things cost? We can't tell you. We can't tell you. Then they take you to the fucking missile room, where God. There's 10 missiles, okay? Missiles that have nuclear warheads that can go on them, right? Sir, how much do these cost? Well, we can't tell you that. Then you start looking up the prices, right? And you figure for a nuclear missile with the warhead and the guidance system and all the propulsion, you've got to be looking at least 30 million. That's my guess. For one, what do you think a nuclear missile armed and loaded costs?
I have no idea.
I'm going to say 30 million minimum.
Are you just
right?
guessing?
I'm guessing, but I think I'm under-guessing.
Probably.
And I've done some calculating.
Oh, there was a question about this recently because the missiles that they shot at the Chinese air balloon, the spy balloon, they missed one of them. And then there was a talk of how much that miss cost.
Right. A miss costs a lot of money. And so, but I'm on this sub and I'm looking at what appears to be.
That was $400K? The ones that are out of the plane, maybe it's different.
But that wasn't a nuke. That wasn't, I'm talking about a nuclear,
F-22
missile,
Raptor.
A nuclear missile fired from a submarine, right? So now I'm on this thing, I'm counting these missiles, 10 missiles, right, that I can see. So I'm trying to do the math. 300, I say it's $500 million worth of missiles on one sub, right? I'm looking, I can see 8 subs docked in Pearl Harbor, right? So now I'm like there's 10 times 8, right? There's 80 missiles in my visual at 500 a missile. And these are just the subs I can see, right? So now I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. If one of these subs fires one missile, right? We're fucked. We're done. The world is probably over, right?
Yeah.
One missile goes. We've got at least 80 of them that I can see. How many people are making money off of this game, right? Where's the money going? That we have to keep loading these submarines with nuclear missiles, one of which is going to get it done. That's not then including all the missiles that are in the silos, right? All the missiles that are flying 24/7 in planes and bombs. Like, we are loaded up good, right? We got enough, yet we keep making more. And this is, like Purdue Pharma, these companies, and now it's all turning into like AI-controlled drones, right, that are going to be like the new forefront of the weapon systems where all the money is going to go. But I was thinking, like, what would happen if you took 2 of these subs and took them offline and built, I don't know, schools? What would happen? Would our national security be threatened? I don't know. Would our country be better off? I don't know. With all the money is going into the military. And I'm support the military. I've done multiple films about our troops, and I understand. I've been to Iraq with the SEAL platoon. I know what I've had a front row seat to the reality of what these men and women are going through. This kind of spending, it seems to me to be a bit reckless.
Well, at the very least, they're incentivized. They're incentivized to be in conflict. If there's that much money to be made, the same way Purdue Pharma was incentivized to pretend that it wasn't addictive, even though they knew it was. It's the same kind of thing. Like, there's decisions that get made specifically because of money. That's really scary for us because we want to think that if we have a leader, we trust someone to be a leader. We have this thought in our head that this is our chief, right? This is the best warrior. This is the wisest person that's lived the longest, and they're the best to govern us. We would never want to believe that someone that he appoints and that's in that chain involved in running all these people is making decisions that will absolutely cost lives and souls. People will be destroyed, but they're making these decisions because of money.
Because of money. And it's like the same thing with some of these drugs is the same thing with some of the big weapon systems. You know, some of like if you're the president, right? If you're the next president of the U.S. and you decide that you want to reduce spending in the military, so say there's a jet program, F-35 or some massive jet program that's costing a shitload of money and you want to try and slow it down. Well, what they do is they build different parts of the aircraft in different states. So there might be 30 states that are all contributing to making one weapon system. So if you try and dismantle it, you've got the representatives from 30 different states saying, you can't do it. We've got a factory that's making the guidance system. We've got a factory that's arming the ordnance on the missiles. We're doing the landing gear, and the weapons are now part of the economy, and they can't be divorced from it. And the spending just goes on.
Isn't there an argument on the other side, though, that we can't allow another country to achieve military superiority over us, and if we stop innovation and stop the flow of money into developing these new jets, that we would run the risk of that happening?
For sure. And that's what's going on with China right now, right? That we're in an arms race with China, a lot of AI technology involved, where like we're now starting to discuss letting AI fly and arm and release weapons on targets that are AI assessed and AI authorized kills, because China's doing the same thing, and we don't want to be out-teched by China, and so we're in a never-ending arms race to have the best technology. I get it. Okay, fine, let's do it. It's just a lot of money.